Hello, everybody. Nick here. And for those of you who celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween. Now, we all remember as kids or preteens celebrating Halloween. I mean, I have some very fond memories growing up celebrating Halloween, especially the trick or treating part. And I remember my mom used to really love Halloween, and I used to dress up as the Ghostbusters because this is back in the '80s, and she even made the costume and everything. I had the proton pack, and I mean, it was a fun time, and I think much simpler time too, which made it more fun as opposed to nowadays where you get the technology and all this other crap. And yeah, so it definitely was something that a lot of people did really enjoy. This is a holiday that is mainly in like United States and Canada. It's sort of reaching to other parts of the world now. Like here in Brazil, you'll see it like in certain areas of. It's not a huge thing, but it's very minuscule. But you'll see it like at the English schools. The kids really kind of get into it at the English schools, and they'll dress up a little bit. And yeah, so I mean, I do have fond memories of Halloween, but I think these days it's becoming less enjoyable, mainly because more and more people are realizing how shitty the world is and how difficult it is to make ends meet, and it's not doing well of a job as a distraction as the powers that be had envisioned it to. And I think it's losing a lot of its luster. I almost forgot to mention when the trick-or-treating was going on. I don't know if you guys remember this or if you did trick-or-treating or whatever, but my parents or whatever, we had to check the candy to make sure that there's like no fucking poison or sharp objects or whatever. It started happening more so like in the 90s and the 2000s. Plus it also depends on where you live. I was living in a small town for a lot of my childhood, but the odd time it would happen. Just goes to show you how like evil the world is and how crazy people are to do that to kids, so that's another thing. I mean, I don't know that I would, if I had kids, would ever even take them out trick-or-treating. I think that's just would be too crazy for me. Way too crazy, way too dangerous. I knew of some parents that were giving their kids like candy. They would just buy the candy and give them that, and they could go trick-or-treating, but they couldn't have the stuff they were getting. How crazy is that? Like that's just goes to, again, proves that how fucked up this world can really get. Just when you can't even trust your neighbors who give out free candy, they just want to do harm to other people. Fuck humans. Now, I mean, I'm not 100% sure where the origins come. I looked online, and basically the Halloween originates from the ancient Celtic or Celtic festival of Samhain, I guess that's how you say it, and which was celebrated around November 1st. And I think it's the Samhain New Year's, which marked the end of the summer and the beginning of winter. The Celts believed that the boundary between the living and the dead became blurred on this day. So it was kind of like maybe the living and the dead would kind of be in the same realm, I guess. I guess that's what that's supposed to mean. They celebrated Samhain with bonfires, dancing, divination, and wearing costumes. They believed that the bonfires would encourage the sun and relight the hearth fires for the winter. So like it would basically allow them to keep warm, I guess, during the winter time coming. They also wore masks and disguises to avoid being recognized by ghosts. So I guess that's where that comes from, the whole Halloween aspect of it. I think the influence of Roman customs basically, they took over some of the different customs of the Celts when the Roman Empire expanded and conquered their territories. They brought some of their customs and religious practices into, kind of mixed in, because the Roman Empire was a very vast and mixture of different beliefs and customs. So I guess that's where they got that from. And I guess because Romans love to have parties, so they probably incorporated the mask using and things like that. What was I going to say about the trick-or-treating didn't come into, I think, the turn of the 20th century, maybe 1920, between 1920 and 1950. It was a relatively expensive way for communities to share the celebration. I don't know. I mean, I think it's become very commercial these days. It's, I think, probably one of the top three more lucrative holidays, especially in the United States. Christmas being number one, of course. I think Halloween, and from the stuff that I was reading about Halloween, their origins are quite creepy, that's for sure, quite disturbing. I can't really get into a lot of the details about it, but it has to do with human sacrifice and appeasing certain, not gods, but a god, or I don't know. You guys can look it up for yourselves, but it comes from a very morbid background. It's not exactly a good thing. It kind of ties in with the powers that be. It's very quite interesting if you can look it up. Now, I will say one thing. For Halloween, the world is pretty scary. I mean, it seems like Halloween every day, in my opinion. I don't know. In my opinion, every single waking moment is kind of like, what's going to happen today? Am I going to get sick, or is this going to happen? How am I going to pay my bills? Everyone is constantly in a fear state. So I don't know what is going on. I mean, look at 2020. That's perfect proof of the fear state. I do want to talk about more of the fear state and controlling one's perception in another video. But I thought I'd come on here and talk about Halloween, how, there's much more than you think it is. And I don't believe that we are told all of the details. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was looking at a video just to do a little bit of research on Halloween, and it's kind of eerie. I found this video randomly on I don't know if it was DuckDuckGo or Google, and it was David Icke talking about Halloween. And I was going to talk about the same things that he did in the video, but I figured this video will now probably get sent out. And I don't believe in self-censoring, but I mean, what am I supposed to do then? I can't really talk about it. I am going to try and start a Rumble account talking about these things, where I know I won't get completely censored and penalized in some way. And I don't mean monetarily. It could be they could give my channel a strike or whatever. But Halloween is one of those things that it's interesting if you look back, way back, what it actually means. It's not an innocent holiday. Sure, maybe the public has turned it into a innocent holiday, but let's be honest, it's just another distraction to try to keep people from looking into the right direction and to see how the world really is. But I think it's fading. I have a feeling that it's fading ever so slightly. I think more and more, to be honest. I don't feel I don't live in Canada, but from what I hear, it's not as popular as it used to be, Halloween. I was there, and the last Halloween I was at was in 2020, or 21 maybe. And it was just, people were not in the mood to do anything, and people were scared, not of ghouls and goblins and things like that, but the people were worried about something in the air. I won't go into detail on that. And that's where the shift started happening. I think people started, realizing, and a lot of people waking up to the fact of what's going on, which kept people from, when you're realizing the shit, life is, the world is not as what we thought it was, you're less likely to feel so happy. You're less likely to feel engaged in wanting to celebrate, whether that be Halloween or Christmas or whatever other holiday that was invented by man to distract and make a huge profit from. You're going to be less inclined to want to participate, So, yeah, it's very quite weird, I would say. But at the same time, I was expecting that to happen. It happened to me. I don't really care about any of these holidays. It's the same thing. It's a loop every year, year in, year out, same thing. But I do encourage you guys to check out, maybe read a little bit more or check videos out, not necessarily on YouTube, but on Google or on Rumble or DuckDuckGo. But what I was saying is, I didn't finish that. So I was looking up some information, and I was about 6 minutes into the video, so I always get sidetracked. But I was at 6 minutes into the video or so, and all of a sudden you get that thing where video is not available on YouTube. And I was like, whoa, that is eerie. And this video is from 5 or 6 years ago. Some other person must have posted it. Wow, unbelievable. If I can find another copy of that, I'm going to post it on my new Rumble account. And if you guys want to follow my Rumble account, I will post the link eventually, so you guys can, just in case anything happens to this channel or whatever. But so you can see they're trying to hide the truth about a lot of things. One could say, no, they just don't want they don't want people reading fake and nonsensical stuff. Well, who are they to decide for us? We should be able to choose what we want to watch and decide for ourselves. Sure, if it's something that says like go out and kill people or whatever, or do crime or something, yeah, that obviously that shouldn't be posted and should be taken down. But if it's just somebody talking about a holiday that happens every year, once a year, it's craziness. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. I rambled on enough about it, but do your own research into Halloween and see what it's really about. I'm not going to say you shouldn't celebrate it or whatever. Enjoy it if you like to enjoy it. Who am I to say otherwise? But if you liked the video, hit the like. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye for now.